Hi guys, welcome back. Today we're going to take a closer look at Deadly Class. This is one I've been meaning to check out for a while and I managed to pick up quite cheap in the comic book closing down sale. I feel like I'm saying that in a lot of these videos. Anyways, so this is book 1. I've also got book 2, but I haven't read that yet. While reading through this in the oversized hardcover, I had a little bit of kind of deja vu. I thought I'd only read maybe the first trade or so of this, but I must have read at least the first 2 or 3 because I knew a lot of what was kind of going on. That or I might have watched through it on something like Comic Storian's YouTube channel, thinking that I wasn't going to get round to reading it. So I'm not sure how I acquired that information, but I definitely knew more about this book than I thought I did. There's been a few people saying that this is essentially a sort of killer school take on a sort of Harry Potter story. I don't really believe that to be the case. There's not really anything that I would consider Harry Potter-esque in this. So let's just take a look at the book itself first, and then we'll come back and discuss it a bit further. So on the front we have our main character, that it's by Rick Remender. I don't know who these guys' first names are. It's Craig, Lodridge and Boyd. It's book 1 called Noise, Noise, Noise. On the spine it kind of matches, and we've got this kind of almost, I can't tell if it's supposed to be kind of a landscape or a kind of drip kind of coming down. It says it's by Giant Generator, which I believe is Rick Remender's kind of imprint within Image. On the back here it says $49.99 US, rated M for mature. It says collecting Deadly Class 1 through 16. We've got the main kind of group that builds up here and them as kind of skeletons. It says it's 1987, and for Marcos Lopez Argelo, a homeless teen surviving on the streets of San Francisco, life is no longer worth living, until one fateful evening, at the end of his rope, a mysterious girl invites Marcus to join a peculiar academy. Welcome to King's Dominion. Deadly School of Arts is the most brutal high school on earth, where the world's top crime families send their next generation of assassins to be trained. Murder is an art, killing is a craft, and the dagger in your back is no metaphor. So basically, so that's the overall kind of premise. Let's have a quick look at the spine itself. So let's just split it about kind of halfway, and you'll see that this rises up really nice overall. It's a sewn in bind, so it lies down really nice and kind of flat. The paper quality is also really good, so we get a bit of a kind of forward in the start, and then I believe this is actually the cover for the first trade. We start off kind of looking very much like a kind of Brubaker book in a way. It's these kind of lighter, kind of almost sort of monotones throughout. And then anything that's kind of supposed to be more drastic or stand out, we get a drastic kind of change of kind of colour throughout things. You do find you have to hold say maybe the first sort of trade or so's worth of sort of pages down, and then after that it's kind of sitting okay. So it's pretty good for an omnibus kind of sized book overall. We do get more and more kind of brighter psychedelic-y kind of colours as they kind of do different drugs and various things, so we get all these really kind of much brighter kind of pages and things going on, although the art itself is consistent. It's just the colours that are more kind of changing. So as I wasn't really expecting quite as a kind of graphic and bright a book as this, because you get this kind of tone here, and then you go to something like this, and as I say, it's the same art style, but it's just totally polar different kind of moods. So it's really cool to kind of see how they drive the moments and feels kind of throughout the book. Let's skip to the back and have a look at the extras. So there's a fair chunk at the back of here. So we've got a kind of school emblem by the looks of things, with a cover gallery. She kind of reminds me of a sort of Death out of Sandman. We've got a sketchbook area with just some different designs around the characters, you know, whether or not they'd have certain wounds or certain heights, builds, clothing styles, kind of setting up the school's kind of tone overall. This is some layouts of kind of, I guess, title pages and things, and basically just all the work through of the design of the book. And so even these pages are the same really high quality paper. This is, what does it say? Nope. Just kind of issue page layouts. Goes on for a bit. And then we've got issue 1's script. So presuming that that's issue 1's art and this is issue 1's kind of script. And then a bit about the kind of creators and things at the back. It's very bright pink. I don't know if this video is doing that justice, but it's like fluorescent inside there compared to the outside. The book's a bit kind of darker. So to give the overall premise from, you know, what I've kind of perceived from the book, you know, let's just start with that. So we've got this young boy who's essentially been in sort of homes and things like that, and is now living on the streets. He gets essentially invited sort of via proxy with this kind of girl to join this murder school, if you like, where they're trained to be assassins. Now, we go through a little bit of kind of initiation where they have to sort of, as I say, sort of proxy him in, and the girl that basically finds him has to basically take responsibility for him, and we then can just go into a regular school story for a little bit. So we get him going around the school, trying to find his place or his kind of group within that. So, you know, they introduce you to the different groups around the school, and it's fairly kind of stereotypical to an extent for an American sort of TV show or American kind of, you know, high school type thing, depending on the area you're in. So you're going to have the people who are the kind of outsider, kind of gothy group. You're going to have the kind of preppy, kind of rich group. You're going to have the geeky group. You're going to have the maybe heavily into sort of metal or music kind of group. You'll have the group that are maybe a different skin colour or nationality. And you know, you'll have these different kind of things kind of built up. So introduce us to all of them, and he doesn't really want to join the group that invites him to kind of join them. He goes off to find what he kind of sees as the outcasts or kind of outsiders, because he sees himself as one of those. So you've got that. He finds his kind of place, and we kind of start moving forward. There's a few drugs throughout the book, where they're taking kind of different psychedelic kind of drugs, and they're laced with various different types of things. So we get some quite psychedelic art throughout the book overall, and that's quite cool to see. Not really key to the kind of arc of what the school wants to do, but it is interesting to the character development of our main kind of protagonist overall. We have various relationships building up where maybe he is going after one girl and another girl is kind of going after him and kind of stuff like that, and just where he lands with that. Normal, just, you know, teen drama type stuff really, but heightened a little bit because these guys are in a murder school, and as I say, there's drugs and other kind of stuff around. So it's almost kind of an adult-esque school in a way. It's kind of weird in that sense. It feels more like it would be a college or university rather than a school in that kind of sense. We get to the point where the school starts giving out different kind of lesson plans to do, but we don't really get a school class sit down lesson. You get essentially given a challenge. So I believe the first challenge they're given is basically find someone deserving to die for committing whatever crime. Find a way to prove it. Take photographic evidence of the fact that you've killed the person and dispose of the body in a way that you're not going to get caught. So that's the first kind of main arc of this school, and we kind of build on sort of challenges and bigger kind of things from there. We don't really get to know what the other classes are doing, and we start to focus down a bit on sort of his couple of groups of people and what's kind of going on with them really. So it feels like it's just a mature school story overall, with a lot of what would be considered kind of American blockbuster elements. So you have drugs with all the psychedelic kind of bright colours, you have, you know, gangs and groups going about from different kind of elements, you have high stakes and murder going on, and you have, you know, sort of love story and love triangles kind of going on there. It's very American in that sense, you know, where it's got that big blockbuster kind of feel in a way. But I don't feel in any way, just to kind of, you know, recap on the whole Harry Potter thing, I don't feel there's any tie to this feeling like Harry Potter. You know, he is not the geeky character. He is not a half-caste kind of person. He is not someone who's unable to do the task at hand, i.e. murder. No, I don't see that for me at all, the Harry Potter kind of connection. But if you make that connection, that's fine. I mean, I've never read the Harry Potter books, so I don't know how they differ from the movies. But I found Harry Potter boring as hell, and I found this really exciting and interesting. So, you know, take that for what it is. Alright guys, as always, share this video with your friends if you think they'd like to know more about Deadly Class. Comment below if you've picked up the book in whichever kind of format and, you know, what you thought. Please no spoilers of book 2. I'm going to be reading that sort of shortly, and I'll try and cover that there so we can have a discussion under that video if you want to discuss book 2. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.